Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next installment of your favorite podcast ever, hopefully. And I am your co-host, Braxton Taylor, here alongside Andrew, the dank, dirty dog bowling.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, folks.
Well, I say that because today I made a nice addition to the bottom of my shoe inside Andrew's home.
That was not my fault.
Kind of. No, it's not. You just have a senile dog, and that's not...
That's also not my fault.
No, I'm saying it's not necessarily your fault, but you could...
It's my wife's fault.
You could do things
I'm going to be in trouble
about
now
it.
when she listens to this.
Yeah. No, so it's just so funny because, like, you know, this dog... All of his dogs are house trained, you know, and so I'm not, you know, I just walk into our recording room and I don't think anything about it. I'm just in there doing stuff. Andrew's like, "Oh, dude, there's something on your, you know, there's poop on the ground." I'm like, "What?" And I look down and like, it's, of course I stepped in it naturally. And so
even better, somehow I didn't. And like we walked in the same area.
Like the entrance of the room, you just kind of walk to the side. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was fun. So I had
just like pooped all over my rug.
It was just so much too. Like,
like a bunch out of this tiny little dog, and which never doesn't usually poop in the house, but you know, whatever. So that was an experience.
Yeah. So I meticulously clean there.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jedi Eternal. Yes, we're still alive. Yes, we are.
And the first thing we talked about is poop. So.
And it's an interesting time in Star Wars world. We are getting Obi-Wan Kenobi here very, very soon. We are basically 2 weeks away. And we are getting Celebration is about to happen, which means there's a good chance we're about to get new announcements,
bunch of stuff,
probably some very big stuff coming out of Celebration. So we're on the precipice, right on the precipice.
Yes.
And so guaranteed there's going to be a lot of good things. I do want to give you guys a couple of updates, one of those being that next week, we will be posting our next Let's Play of Lego The Skywalker Saga. That'll be episode 2. You will be getting that next Saturday. And after that will be the week of Celebration. So me and Braxton will not be together. I will be in California at Celebration. He will not be.
Yeah,
however, we do intend to have a live Facebook episode together on that Saturday. A time we will give you guys later, but that will be hopefully probably Saturday mid-afternoon to evening. Give you guys enough time to watch the 2 episodes of Kenobi that will be coming out on that Friday.
Yeah, boy.
And we'll dive deep into not only those 2 episodes, but also everything going on at Celebration and my experience so far. Now, that being said, that won't be the only content coming out of Celebration. I will be giving you guys more updates, whether on Facebook or Twitter, other live videos. I'll be active on there to give you guys the lowdown on what's going on. But that will be our replacement for our episode will be on that Saturday live on Facebook.
Yeah. So I mean, as Andrew aptly said, you know, there's a lot of stuff about to come around the bend here. So please keep your eyes and ears open as we post on Facebook and we release some stuff on Twitter and other places like that. Because again, we're about to come upon a very, very exciting time for Star Wars here in this latter part of May, where we get, like I said, Kenobi, celebrations, a lot of announcements. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. But before we get into the rest of our stuff, we do want to always, as usual, mention our Patreon subscribers. We do have a Patreon that oh my goodness, my getting a text right. It's so professional, right? Anyway, long story short, we do have a Patreon, and on that Patreon, which is only $5 a month, you do get access to a Patreon exclusive podcast called And Other Stuff, where we discuss anything and everything other than Star Wars, and sometimes Star Wars stuff too. And along with that, you do become a producer of our podcast, and you get to help us decide what things we talk about and what avenues we go. And last but not least, you do also get instant access to all of the stuff that we post. So you don't have to wait till Saturday. It comes out the second it is there.
Yes,
So.
and we have a brand new episode of and other stuff that has when you're listening to this will already be out. And it is focused on Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. However, we also do talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and talk about the delay of Starfield, the next Bethesda game. So if any of that interests you, now would be a great time to jump on board the Patreon and join us there.
Yes.
That episode will be available right now. But we do want to thank our members, and so I'm going to go ahead and list our Patreon producers, and that is JB, which also known as Josh and Birkinshaw, Tara Bolin, Grace and David Gill, Alex Mason, Jay Camdar, and Jenna Evans. So thank you to all of them.
Yes, thank you very much to all of those faithful few. We are so thankful that you choose to not only listen to us, but pay $5 a month to listen to us.
Uplift us to higher levels.
Yes.
It means much, and all of that, any penny that goes into that is going towards upgrading and making our content better for you all. So,
yes.
Thank you.
So don't want to drum too much on our personal advertisements here. So we're going to go ahead and get into our news for the week. And so the very first piece of news is that if you followed us on Facebook or Instagram, you would have saw this. But on May the 6th, or sorry, no, May the 9th.
You say nar?
It was
nar.
Nar. I can't
That's like a British thing, right?
Nar.
Oh, no offense, JB. I'm so sorry.
Well, actually, I was thinking more like Australian, like
nar.
Nar.
Maybe it's Australian that does that.
They might do it too.
Nar. Nar.
Yeah.
Nar. Oh, nar.
Arnar.
Oh, nar.
I'm gonna have to go. Anyway, we're not gonna butcher. We're not going to offend anyone else. All right, so on May 9th, Star Wars dropped a picture of a nice little set chair or filming chair with Ahsoka on the back in the most beautiful little cowboy hat you ever did see, popularly worn by our good man Dave Filoni. And they did announce that Ahsoka, an original series, is starting production today. So, and again, that was as of May 9th. So here we are a few days later. So we got a few days on this, and it is in production, and it's coming, folks.
Yeah.
We do estimate that it will be coming out, of course, next year. Exactly when, we don't have the any firm dates, but mid to late next year is definitely a possibility. So,
well, and you look, I mean, if you think about the casting time or the filming time here, we could get this early next year if they wanted.
True.
Based off of what we've seen, the time it takes for The Mandalorian and stuff like that, this could easily be ready by beginning of next year. Now, I don't know if that's what they're looking to do. Maybe we get a better picture after Celebration. Maybe I don't know.
We might know.
We might have a date. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But a couple things to mention about this. Of course, we do have a couple of casting announcements that we know for a fact are going to be a part of this show, and that is Hayden Christensen. Is back as Anakin Skywalker. Very excited to see what they do with that. I mean, clearly, I think this is going to be our next appearance of Anakin as a Force ghost, and which will also mean really getting our first look at what Anakin has to say and thinks about everything that's happened after he died. We've never seen what Anakin has to say or thinks about the events of him as Vader, all of this stuff, right? We've never seen, and there's a good chance we're finally going to see some of that and have him and Ahsoka have discussions about things like that. And of course, we're also getting Sabine Wren. Natasha Bordizzo, I think, is she is playing Sabine Wren. And so as we saw at the very end of Rebels, we see Ahsoka meet up with Sabine. And Dave Filoni once was asked why Sabine wasn't in The Mandalorian Season 2, when we saw that at the end of that, and his response was something, I'm not going to say this is word for word, but it was something like, what makes you think that was before The Mandalorian? That very last scene. And so basically he's saying that scene could be later than what you see in Mandalorian. And I think that is the case, because as you as we've seen her. She's not in her white robe and the big staff thing that she has. I think there's more story to that we hadn't got in Mando. I don't think she had reached that point personally.
Yeah.
So I think that's yet to come. So interesting stuff there. And I'm excited to know that it's finally like it's getting worked on. This is going to be a special show.
Well, and one thing to supplement with that is that they announced that it is Ahsoka, an original series. Okay, it's not a limited series; it is an original series. So, as to speak, that there will be maybe some reoccurring stuff. There is going to be. It's not just some limited run. Like this is going to be an established show.
Right. As we know, a lot of times with the announcements of these shows, they've often put that limited in there. We know Kenobi, it says limited. I still kind of hope maybe somehow that changes. We get more Kenobi. I don't even know. I don't even know story wise that would be a good idea, but like I just, I can't help it. But with Ahsoka, they're clearly setting this as an original series, which does make me think there's a very good chance there will be more than one season of this show. I mean, I'm all for it. We've all, of course, most of us have all grown to love the character of Ahsoka. Knowing we're getting Anakin back as Hayden Christensen is beautiful. And hey, why not throw Ewan McGregor in there too as a Force Ghost? Why not? Actually, you know what? Let's do Yoda too. Let's have the whole crew. Let's just have the whole crew hanging out with Ahsoka. Okay, let's just do it.
Why not?
We all wanted that for. We wanted that for Rise of Skywalker, and they didn't give it to us. But they know we all wanted it, so let's do it now.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that's potentially coming, of course, for that. But we're definitely excited to see where it goes. So,
for sure.
Let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah, so let's move on to our second news story here, and I want to before I say this, I do want to say we are aware that there was another Kenobi trailer. We're aware of the Star Wars Day that happened, all that stuff. Guys, unfortunately, it just did not work for us to do anything that we would normally do during those times.
And unfortunately, to supplement that, it's not that it's not just that. Unfortunately, there just wasn't a lot of stuff to even talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the trailer, but yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot of new things. There's little things here and there. I mean, the trailer still gave me goosebumps, all of that, but there wasn't a whole lot to really discuss in it as much as we had thought there might be. But moving on. Weekly Obi-Wan Wednesdays will begin on May 25th with product reveal. So just kind of like what we got was Mando Wednesdays, now we're getting Obi-Wan Wednesdays. And that's launching on Wednesday, May 25th. So 2 days before Kenobi will debut, we'll get our first look at some of the merchandise that will come with Kenobi. And just like the other... just like with Mando and Book of Boba Fett, I assume that after that episode, the previous episode, the next coming Wednesday, they release merchandise that they maybe couldn't have shown you until that episode had released. And so, I'm already looking forward to buying every single Funko Pop that comes out of this. I love Kenobi, so like it's going to be hard for me not to want to buy everything that comes out of this. It's going to be a struggle. I already know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. The first thing, like as soon as I heard about this, I immediately looked at Andrew. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
This is scary.
Right.
Because like I said, with Mando Wednesdays, I think I got one thing. I don't even remember what it was. Maybe one thing from that. And like there's cool stuff, but it's just like, whatever. I can live without it. But like anything Obi-Wan in his return, I'm like,
right.
I might have to buy every single thing.
and I don't know if you've seen this yet, but they did go ahead and show one thing or two things from the series.
Yeah.
One of them was the brand new Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber, which was the real detailed one, very expensive, comes with like a stand and all of that. Absolutely gorgeous. I really want it, but. That's one I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. But I will say also they showed the Black Series Darth Vader premium helmet. So like this is, very detailed. It all comes apart. The inside is all like mechanical, and it's got the red lenses like like the original, and so like.
Shiver me timbers.
Very beautiful, very cool. Actually not as expensive as I expected that to be.
Really?
Yeah, so the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber, very expensive. The helmet, not as much. Still expensive.
Does it say how much? Out of curiosity.
Well, so I don't have it here. Hold on a second.
Don't
I'll look it up.
tease us, man.
I'll look it up real quick. Hold on a second.
I mean, yeah, and like I said with the Obi-Wan, I would say I was, it sounds tempting, but for me, albeit not officially licensed, I do have my episode 3 and episode 4 Obi-Wan lightsaber that I did get, and I shared that video with you all. So I'm very happy with that, albeit not officially licensed. But anyway, but I have to admit this Vader helmet's a little tempting. I'm curious what this pricing is. Any progression on this?
Sorry, I'm looking. So unfortunately, if you just look up Darth Vader helmet, there's a lot of different ones out there.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I was like, maybe you could type in.
Okay, so here it is, $131.99.
Oh,
so really that's not bad for like what you're getting, and it's like, I mean, extremely authentic. It looks gorgeous. So really, that's not bad. But then the Kenobi lightsaber is closer to $300.
Yeah.
Again, like a fantastic looking piece. Like, it looks just straight out of the movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous hilt, but like, yeah, you're gonna be spending.
You're gonna be putting some moolah on
pretty
that.
penny for that. Now, do I think it's worth it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But my wallets are not.
Yeah, it's like, although I think it's worth it, my finances don't.
Exactly. Nor does my wife, probably.
Yeah, more likely not. All right, so a lot of scary stuff coming. A lot of awesome stuff coming. I'm so excited to see what they release every week, and of course, it's going to be tied into those episodes most likely, as it was on Mando.
And we'll update here. As you guys know, of course, we're going to try to go back to a weekly format for our podcast during Kenobi.
Yes.
So that we can always discuss the episodes as they come out. Yeah. As of course our plan, our hope and desire.
Yes.
Doesn't always mean it's going to happen that way, but we truly do want that to be the case, and going to do our best to make that happen. So. And
we'll put a little extra effort in because of the passion we have behind Kenobi.
Yes, Kenobi. Yeah, Kenobi will push us to a whole nother level with that. So.
Yeah. So anyway, move on to our final news piece for this week, and that is talking about Kevin Feige's Star Wars Rider teases a new standalone film. So as you know, there has been some whispers here and there about a new Star Wars film that has Kevin Feige directing, and there's a writer attached that has worked on Marvel and things of that nature. So that's all great, and Drew's going to be able to elaborate on this further. But in talks with that writer and with Kevin Feige and them, they do state that there is potentially a new movie coming up, and that it's not necessarily a sequel to the one that's already announced. So.
Yeah, so when he was being interviewed by Variety, it was actually for Doctor Strange 2, because he's actually a writer in Doctor Strange.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Multiverse of Madness. They asked him about his movie, his Star Wars movie with Kevin Feige, and this is his response. We're finally into it, Ernest. I mean, I'm writing away. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything. It maybe has a little bit less of it just doesn't have a bunch of TV shows and movies that you are servicing on top of it the way I did with Doctor Strange. So it is nice. It feels like a different exercise. So what I gather from that is it sounds like what he's writing on doesn't have much of an established connection.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. Do you agree with that? Is that kind of what it sounds like to you?
He's being very obviously cloak and shadow, but
sure.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I feel like it does lend itself to that for sure.
That he seems to be acting like there's not a whole lot of connection there. So Lucasfilm has talked a long time about kind of the origins of the Jedi, and maybe this could be that. We know they've kind of tried it in different ways, and nothing has panned out so far. Maybe this is going to be that. Maybe this is going to be just something completely different and unexpected. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I do have to wonder if this is what is this the next Star Wars movie, whatever this is, because here's and and I will say it's the frustrating thing about Lucasfilm, is we know there's this Kevin Feige movie. At the moment, that's really the only truly like. There's a Taika Waititi movie.
There's a Taika Waititi's kind of hinted at, but
there's nothing saying the Taika Waititi movie and the Kevin Feige movie aren't one and the same.
Yeah, isn't the same thing. Yeah,
it might be the same movie.
Very well, maybe.
I don't know that anything has said for sure that that's not the case, because you have to remember the Kevin Feige Star Wars movie. He's just producing it. He's not a director. And Michael, whatever his name is a writer, so there's no director in that mix. So Taika Waititi as director would maybe make a lot of sense.
That's true.
So I don't know. So those could be one and the same, or the Rian Johnson trilogy. I don't know.
I don't know if that's happening. I don't know what it is.
I wish they would just tell us if it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but for whatever reason, that's just complete silence. And then of course we have the Rogue Squadron movie that kind of seems to have been put on hold, and exactly. I don't know what's going on with that either. And so, guys, I'll tell you, on Thursday of Celebration, there's a panel that starts. It's kind of the kickoff of the entire week. There's a panel. It's at like 2:00 California time. So this is going to be like 5:00, 5 or 6-ish, or whatever. Or when you guys. I'm not sure exactly what time it is. That's why I'm saying like 5 to 6.
Yeah, I think it's 3 hours till Eastern Standard Time.
Well, I know it's 3 hours, but I'm saying like I don't know if it's 2 or 3 or whatever, something California time. I don't know exactly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You don't know.
So I'm saying your guys' time here is going to be around that. It'll be in the evening on that Thursday. Mm-hmm. There will be a panel that is supposedly talking about the upcoming projects. Now, of course, Dave went on to say you're going to see Andor and Ahsoka and
all the
Obi-Wan,
stuff that we already know.
But there's a lot of stuff still up in the air, and I want this so bad. And maybe I'm expecting too much, but I would love for them to give us a roadmap, or give us, or at least give us some more idea when these things are coming. And tell us what projects are still in the works, what's not. Yeah. Whatever you got to do, just give us some more idea of what to expect.
So,
and not so much mystery.
Well, and here's the thing. I think this is a perfect time. Even if they don't give us a roadmap, I think it's a perfect time to announce what the next movie is. Now, it may not be in production. It may not come out for a couple years. But I think this is the first Celebration in 3 years. I think it's a perfect time for them to announce at least what the first movie is, or what's about, or what's, Yeah.
So even if it's at the end, they're just like, and folks, here's the next Star Wars movie. And they just show a title and they say, and this will be about the
blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah, and that's it. That'll be enough for me. That'll be enough.
Well, and so here's the thing, and you mentioned it, you was wondering if this Kevin Feige one was not the next one. Well, here's the thing, and this is why I think it very well possibly could be, simply because, here's the thing. Let's be real. I don't care if you love the sequel
Ladies
trilogy.
And gentlemen, here's the thing.
You
said it like so many times.
Well, because I'm trying to tiptoe around this. I'm just going to say, whether you like it or not, whether you love the sequel trilogy or not, you have to admit it did not go through like everybody wanted it to, especially Disney. It did not go how they wanted it to go. There was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of back and forth. And so, honestly, after the ninth movie, right, after Rise of Skywalker, basically Star Wars was not done, but it was hurting really bad. And it wasn't until Mandalorian came back around that they're like, okay, we're finally back in action. So my point with that being is, whatever the next movie is, the first movie after Rise of Skywalker, it's going to have to be legit. They're going to have to work on it. They're going to have to know that it's good and people are going to like it. And who better to come in than Kevin Feige? Who better to come in as a writer for some of the Marvel movies? Some, for instance, a huge hit such as Multiverse of Madness. It makes sense that they're going to want a winner and they're going to bring in the big guns for this. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think it makes sense that this could be the next movie. And secondarily, I think it makes sense that you're going to hear about this, whether you get a roadmap or not, you're going to hear about this movie at Star Wars Celebration, even if it's just a couple sentences. So
I hope.
Anyway.
I want that. Sorry. I want that so bad. Give us Lucasfilm. I know you're listening.
Yeah,
I know you listen to our podcast.
Bated breath here. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, please give us an update on the future of Star Wars. Thank you, and have a nice day.
All right. Yeah. So we talked a lot about that. So that concludes our news, but let's go ahead and get into our rumors. Please stop slapping your dog.
She loves it.
Whatever.
She does lick.
No, I know.
She's like, please.
I'm sure the people listening don't know that, but anyway. No, honestly,
I'm gonna get like animal abuse call or something. Yeah,
hopefully. Anyway, so rumors is this week it starts off with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel is reportedly titled Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So, as we have talked many times on this podcast in previous times, we have an up-in-the-air debate as to what's going to be the next installment of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, right? Whether, is it going to be a direct sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, or is it Star Wars Jedi and something else? So this reported title says Star Wars Jedi Survivor, as if the Star Wars Jedi is kind of a baseline, not franchise, but it's a baseline game that will take different places. Now, very well, could it be following the story of Cal Kestis? Yes, but anyway, it's just very interesting. So, Drew, what more do you have on that?
So, this came from a report from Jeff Grubb, who he is he's a video game journalist and insider, and I will say okay, Sage, now you're messing up my mic. Go away.
Cut it
out. My dog is going crazy. Most of the things that he reports on usually true. Okay, so I will say that
true.
He's pretty dead on most of the time. He doesn't just report on every rumor out there. Okay, he's reporting on the stuff that he feels pretty confident about. So, what he's saying is that he's known the title for a while, and he actually kind of made a game out of it to where he said if someone guessed the title correctly during one of his live streams, that he would confirm it. And so today, someone finally guessed it. They guessed it was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And so he said, "Yep, that's correct. That is that's the title." So, not much else more was said other than that, but someone else, Star Wars, what's his name? Oh man, Jason Ward. He also he confirmed after that he also heard that he heard that was the title, and him and Grubb both still have been told to expect the reveal at Celebration. What's interesting about that is if you look at the panels, there is no panel for a Star Wars video game.
Yeah.
Now, last Celebration, there was a panel for the trailer for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Like it just said, it didn't say the name of the game because it hadn't been announced yet, but it said like, I don't remember. We were there, but it said like EA game or so. I don't know. There was some kind of placeholder title, but it didn't tell you the actual name of the game. Well, there's nothing like that this year. Yeah. There is no panel. So these guys are confused because they're being told it's totally being announced here. So it's like, well, where's it being announced? Because it doesn't have a panel.
Right.
So that's interesting, but I will say getting the title Star Wars Jedi Survivor doesn't really tell us anything.
It could tell you anything.
Because that could mean anything. That could still just be a sequel to Fallen Order.
Yeah, easily.
Right?
Cal Kestis is just surviving.
He's already a survivor, so like it would easily go with that. Or it could be another Jedi from Order 66.
After 66,
or it could really go in any era. You could call it Survivor. You know what I mean? Like, so not really, doesn't really tell us a whole lot. But I'm still very curious to see what it ends up being. I think I'm still in the camp of everyone really enjoyed the characters of Fallen Order, so I would not be surprised if they don't continue that story. Continue with Cal Kestis. He was liked by a lot of people. The supporting cast of that game was liked by a lot of people. There's more story, obviously, to be told there. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get a sequel. The only thing, and I've said this before, so I'll just say it very quickly, but the only thing that I kind of doubt with this game is, or a question about this game is, how do you fit in the gameplay, because the first game was all about starting at a very low point where you didn't really have anything and building up your character.
Yeah.
So how do you go around that this time if you do play as Cal Kestis again?
Sure.
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, and again, you basically just said it. So if we keep it the same character, then what is the mechanics now? So it does lend itself to it being another character, unless they have some kind of plan.
Well, and you could maybe try to throw in some new Force abilities and stuff like that. Like maybe
he meets up with some other Jedi or whatever, and they're survivors, and he's like learning from them. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but it does seem to. I feel like it would be harder to. To make that work as easy as it did in the first one, because they can't be like, oh, he forgot how to use his force powers again.
Oh no, he got hit in the head.
Mean, they could, but I hope they don't.
That would be the dumbest thing ever.
So yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Or actually, let me throw in one little other idea. Yeah. Or Cal Kestis has a Padawan. You play as the Padawan to Cal Kestis. Which, again, but not always. You could kind of go back and forth. Maybe as Cal Kestis, you're super powerful, have all the abilities, and then you could also play as his Padawan.
Kind of reminiscent of Force Unleashed, where you play as Vader, and you're just OP.
Yeah.
And then you go to Starkiller, and
So yeah, just throwing that out there. Maybe something like that. But only time will tell. I mean, we don't know. Supposedly we're going to know in 2 weeks, so we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Going on to our next rumor, and going back to the Ahsoka series, the Ahsoka series has reportedly cast Matthew Law in a big role. So this was from a well-known movie scooper, Daniel RPK.
Movie scooper.
And
that's one way to. Yeah. What do you do for a living? I'm a movie scooper.
Hey, that's just what this website called it. Okay, so that wasn't my own. I didn't come up with that myself.
I didn't think so.
So Matthew Law, best known for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., has reportedly been cast for this big role.
Yeah.
And I looked at a picture of him, and I mean, from this one picture, maybe he could be
Ezra. I've had a feeling he's going to say that. Yeah. I don't know what picture you're looking at, but I've seen a couple like,
well, maybe I should look at more pictures of him, Matthew.
I mean, he does look a little too old, depending on some of the ones you look.
You have got to stop, dog.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I guess Ezra would be older. I mean,
yeah, he's going to be older at this point. He's not going to be the young boy he was. Yeah, I mean, I could, I could see him. I could see it being him.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Let's put it that way.
Okay. No, not at all. I could definitely see this being him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is just a rumor, but I will say it does appear to be again fairly credible.
Yeah.
We'll of course update you guys if we hear about this end up being for sure. In the meantime, it is just a rumor, but it seems to be a fairly credible one. So
yeah.
I mean, I think we're both on the same page that we do believe that Ezra will probably be in this at some point, because we also assume that Thrawn is going to play a role in this.
Yeah.
This is essentially the Rebels sequel, right? That they always said was going to be like a animated thing that never actually happened. We heard about that a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So many rumors about that never happened, but
right.
But here we are with that. So that's all we have in our rumors. I do want to hurry and do our upcoming releases for you guys. And we do have a couple things here. So we, on the 18th, we have Dr. Aphra, issue number 20. Also on the 18th, we have Han Solo and Chewbacca, issue number 2. And on the 27th, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Season 1, episode 1 and 2. Very, very excited about that, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be, I can't even tell you how excited I am. And yeah, that's all we got coming. But I just want to take a moment here and talk about Kenobi. This is the last time that we're going to be sitting at these mics talking about Kenobi.
Yeah.
Until we see it.
That is the truth. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, where's your head at with Kenobi right now?
I I have such a mix of emotions right now. Obviously, Kenobi, as stated a multitude of times, is my favorite Star Wars character and always will be. I love Kenobi. I love everything about Kenobi. And the fact that we're getting a Kenobi series is just so far-fetched. It's so beyond what I ever expected. I just thought that we're never seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan ever again, unfortunately. And I'm so glad that I was wrong. But that's what I thought. So obviously, when I heard it as announced, when I heard the dates that it was coming out, and now to know that we have a solid date, I'm about to watch this in a couple weeks. Like, my heart is so happy. I'm so excited. And it's like almost unbelievable. But I will say this, there's two parts that scare me, and that is we already know that the original script was completely destroyed and scrapped and put to the side. We already know that there was already issues, and that Kathleen Kennedy already just scrapped the whole thing, and basically said, no, we got to redo this. So why? What was the reason for that? What was wrong with it that Kathleen Kennedy thought we need to redo it? Mm-hmm. So that is one kind of odd thing. I'm not super worried about it, but it is a thing in the back of my mind. But secondarily, or B, we did see the trailer, and some of these reoccurring characters that we see again, such as the Grand Inquisitor, and I can't remember which brother it is, but some of these characters, they just look goofy to me personally. And I know people are like, well, this is live action, you can't expect to. I get that it's not going to look 1-to-1 to the cartoon. I get that. But I just know that they're bringing in some old characters we already know, and they just look odd, and they're bringing in new characters, and it seems like there's a heavy focus on some of these new characters, such as this new sister that, like, all of a sudden it's just like Obi-Wan versus her. And I'm like, why? And that's one of my biggest concerns is I'm like, who is this person? Why do we care about them? And all of a sudden now Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan that we care so much about, that we saw all throughout the prequels, and now we're getting a whole new show, and he's like this like cult leader, at least to us, and all of a sudden now he's 1v1ing, and he's like the main protagonist. Is this some random new Inquisitor sister?
I will say to that, I really, really hope that there's history between them. I hope she was like a Padawan at the temple.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I hope there is like a history there of like they know each other from the temple, from the Jedi temple. Yeah. Like she used to be she was there and got taken and turned into what she is now, right? Like that's what I'm hoping for.
But the fact is we don't know that. But we don't. We already. That. So even if they do introduce that, it's a whole new dichotomy, a whole new relationship that we're like, who is she? Even if we.
But I think what they have to be careful with, in my opinion, is they cannot create someone like this character, this new, and actually make her comparable to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
Exactly.
You can't. You are going to make fans so mad.
Oh, I know. I'll be furious. I'll be
and honestly, I won't like it at all. I'll be very upset. And it's not because she's a female. It's not anything about that.
It's a random new character, boy or girl. You know what I'm saying?
None of the Inquisitors should be comparable to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Exactly.
He is known to be one of the greatest Jedi of all time. Yoda, who's seen them all, says he was the greatest Jedi, like out of Yoda's mouth.
Yeah, and a literal master of form, I think, for Surrester, the defensive form. He's a literal master.
Yeah, and I think, will he maybe be challenged a little bit because of the fact that he won't use his lightsaber, he won't use his force powers, stuff like that? Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with that. If he's trying to run from them, dodge them, only because he doesn't want to reveal himself as a Jedi, okay. But if they go hand-to-hand combat with the lightsabers, all that stuff, like, this doesn't need to... They need to have... All the Inquisitors at once have to be fighting him to bring some kind of challenge, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to see him versus her and there be
like
a
struggle. Exactly.
Like, no.
Even if he wins, I don't want to see him struggle at all. Again, because he's just such an iconic, powerful character.
This is where it gets a little scary about the Kenobi series. It's things like this that we already hold Obi-Wan Kenobi to such a high standard, but what are they willing to do to... what kind of situations they're going to put him into to make him struggle, and are we going to be okay with that or not? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is scary. And I've been in this weird place right now with Star Wars. I'm in this weird state of mind because we're on the edge of this, like this amazing thing we've been wanting for so long. It's about to happen.
And I'm scared.
And I'm
I know
scared.
what you're about to say.
I'm scared of what this is going to end up being. Will it be what we wanted? Will it surpass our expectations? Will it not meet our expectations? And what does that mean for me after this is over?
I mean,
I honestly, like, I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but like,
I know what you're about to say.
But
I feel the same way.
all of these people, everyone that's listening to us right now, you either love you must love Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So I think you guys can understand where I'm coming from when I say, like, if this is a letdown, like,
something this sacred, something this big, something this highly planned
for. How will I feel about Star Wars after that?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the stuff that has already come and I loved, but like the future of Star Wars. I just wonder, like, will I get excited about Star Wars after this?
Because the potential precipice, the ultimate thing that we've always been waiting for this whole time, the one thing that gets us excited more than anything, if that was a letdown, or if that is not exactly what meets our expectations, which I know, sometimes our expectations be too high. Excuse me, but like you said, I mean, what can you go from there? What can you expect after that?
Yeah, and this is peak Star Wars, and I know we've been saying that since they announced it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is peak Star Wars for me. Whatever this ends up being, this is what I care most about in Star Wars.
Yeah.
This story of what happened to Kenobi after Episode 3 and his interaction with Darth Vader. This is it. This is the peak.
Yep.
So after this, like, I had to say, like, thank God for the High Republic, because the High Republic has kind of rejuvenated excitement for me in a way I haven't felt about Star Wars in a while. And so I'm looking forward to more of the High Republic and what we get out of that.
Yeah.
But from out of that, it's like, I don't know that anything will ever reach the excitement that I'm about to receive with Kenobi.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And I don't know, I'm just in a weird state of mind right now with it all.
Well, I think it's like the calm before the storm, and like you're so excited, you're so pumped, but yet you're so scared because what if it's not what you hope it to be?
And it's like, what if this series ends up being a joke, Braxton?
I know.
What if this series comes out and it's just utter trash, it's just like, it's like they're afraid to put Kenobi on something ever again because the series does so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what if it's that?
And then we all second guess, like, okay.
And I would, and I wanted to so badly say, oh, there's no way. But unfortunately, there is a way.
I mean,
and I do not think that's the case. I think I'm going to really like this, and I think they've kept so much of the show in secret. I don't think any image we've gotten out of the trailers is past the second episode.
Yeah, I agree. I
think there's 4 more episodes that we've not seen a single image of. I really do. And so I'm so very excited about the potential of this series, but it's just so much of me needs this to be good. I'm scared. I am so scared. So scared, but so excited. And guess what, guys? Next time you listen to us,
we'll be talking about it.
You're gonna know our first impressions on those first 2 episodes. And it's like, part of me is like, it's Kenobi, so no matter what, I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I'm like,
if you do certain things, you might, I don't know. It's like, I
know what you're saying.
You gotta treat this character with respect,
with the utmost respect.
But honestly, but here's the thing, I thought that about Luke Skywalker too.
Yeah, that. Let's move on.
I know, but seriously, like, I thought that about Luke Skywalker too, and look what ended up doing. So
let's get off the sour note. We can talk about this. Obviously, you can tell, guys, we're very passionate about this, and we're a little nervous again, just because, like, we don't have any expectations inherently that it's going to be bad, but we're afraid of, like, what if it is. So, but again, guys, we want to move on with a more hopeful note, and that is, at the end of the day, this is Kenobi. This is the story that we want so much, and it is Ewan McGregor, and it is Hayden Christensen as Vader, and we will be getting flashbacks. So it's like,
most likely we're probably going to see
Qui-Gon.
we're probably going to see Ian McDermott as Palpatine again.
Yeah, true.
We're probably going to see Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
All of this is all but confirmed. Like, we're probably seeing them all.
You can't have Obi-Wan and Vader without Palpatine and Kenobi or Qui-Gon.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on. So the point is that
exciting.
We're scared for what the content is because we have been let down. Folks, you have too. We've been let down on different things, but at the end of the day, we're still super excited. So we need to move on. But the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and do our community discussion, and we're going to end on that. But the community discussion is a part where we ask each and every one of you a question, and then we discuss your answers live on air and then talk about it ourselves. So, following our previous week's theme, that is, we are going to be tackling another big Star Wars debate question. And first we talked about what is the watching order, the appropriate watching order of Star Wars. Now we're going to be talking about the classic question, who shot first, Han or Greedo? So, we're going to go ahead and talk about your all's answers. So, number one, the first comment was from Corey Alman Wise, and he says Han definitely shot first. So, it's not even a question. It's not even a debate. Han definitely shot first. Brandon Dukes then comes in and says Han clearly was the aggressor. Clearly. Definitely. Clearly. You guys, without a doubt. And also Brandon does show a pretty cool, like, medieval styled picture that says Han shot first. It's pretty good. I like it. And then Alex Mason says Han shot first. I believe that's why Greedo missed, because he got hit with Han's first shot. But last but not least, the last answer we have is from good old JB, and he breaks the tide here a little bit. And he says, ooh, so many hours wasted on trying to pause the VHS to see who done it. Many hours wasted, I tell you. I would say Greedo shot first, but missed. Han was slightly slower, but as we know, very accurate. In the sequels, he does not even look when taking out First Order troopers. And you were right with his accuracy, that's for sure. So what I will say right off the bat is we do know that the Han and Greedo fight was edited from the original when they had this special edition re-release.
It's been edited at least 4 times.
At least 4 times. So it is difficult to say. Now, when we say who shot first, really the right answer, not saying who shot first, but the right answer is, if you're going to evaluate, would be the original scene. Not the revisions, but original scene. Now, this is just my opinion. So like I said, it is difficult to say because, for those of you who are saying, well, this person definitely shot first, or I think it was this person, well, it all depends on which version we've seen, right? Or whatever. Yeah. But I'm saying off the base one, I'm personally fairly certain that Han shot first. And I know for a fact that they made it very ambiguous for a reason. We don't want to, they didn't want to show Han just being a cold-blooded killer and just standing up shooting him, Greedo not doing anything. And they don't want to really show Han being, bad at fighting and Greedo shooting him, and then he finally shoots him back. They shot like almost at the same time. But the way it looks in the original, again, from what I remember correctly, is that just at the very beginning, Han starts to pull up and shoot, and I personally think kind of in line with what a few different comments is that's why Greedo missed, is because Han shot first, Greedo gets hit, and as he's firing it, he pulls up or whatever because he just got shot and it misses Han's head. So I can see it both ways, but according to the very first iteration, I think Han shot first. What do you think?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to answer this question. Yeah. There's the what happened in the universe canon answer, and there's
2 ways to answer this: Han shot first or Greedo shot first. Just kidding.
Well, you're right.
But, theoretically.
But the other way to look at it and answer is based off of what has been said by George Lucas, who created the movie and essentially makes the calls.
Yeah.
So you're right. The very first iteration of Star Wars, Han shot first.
Yeah.
Then there was a second edit. In the second edit, Greedo shoots first, and then Han.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a third edit in the third edit, they shoot simultaneously.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And then the fourth edit, which is the newest one, it's still they shoot basically simultaneously.
Yeah.
But now it is Greedo says McClunky before he shoots, or McClunky or whatever, and then he shoots.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the newest version of that scene.
Yeah.
So George Lucas states that Greedo shoots first. And Greedo shoots first because Han is not a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, yeah.
George Lucas has said that many, many times. He has told everybody Han would not shoot first.
Yeah.
He shoots in self-defense. It was Greedo.
Yeah.
The fans choose not to listen to that. They ignore that, and they say Han shot first anyway.
Yeah.
And the original, very first version, Han did shoot first. Clearly, George Lucas had a change of heart in between the original and then his edits.
Yeah.
He changed his mind on what Han Solo would be and what Han Solo would do.
Yeah.
But I think for my version in my head, what happens in universe is, they're sitting there. Han knows
it's about to happen.
It's about to happen. Han knows what's going to go down here. He knows that one of them's not going to walk away from this.
Yeah.
And so Han is ready to shoot. And when
as soon as
and I think as soon as Greedo says his McClunky, he knows what's going down. And again, I think the shots are simultaneous. Actually, I think he can see it's coming. Greedo, he can see that Greedo's about to go, and I do think Greedo is the one that kind of initiates, and then they both go.
Yeah,
I know that's not the popular answer, but I do think that is
kind of cop out.
Kind of what happens. But I think they asked Harrison Ford what he thought and on who shot first, and he said. I don't know and I don't care.
That's a very Han answer, Very Han answer.
That was his exact words. I don't know and I don't care.
I can appreciate that. So this is the way I look at it. And now we're talking about it. It kind of solidifies my thought process. Let's look at it. Let's look at it just how it is. Back in 1977, New Hope came out, right? Okay. In 77, New Hope comes out. And at this point, it's not even New Hope. It's just Star Wars. So George Lucas, yes, he wants it to be big. Yes, he thinks it's a great story, but he doesn't know. And at the end of the day, way Han is written, right? Han is a smuggler. He is a scoundrel. He is he is a guy who smuggles and fights and he's not an assassin. Yes, he's not a bounty hunter, but he does fight and he does kill. And he's willing to go against the Empire and smuggle goods for a crime boss lord. I mean, so I think he wrote him like that to where he kind of did shoot first because he's, it's not that he's a bad guy, inherently speaking. He's not a cold-blooded killer, but he is what he is, Yeah. But I think after it got popular, after the movies started really ramping up and they released the special edition closer to when the prequels came out, I think George Lucas really did start thinking, okay, well, if this is going to be this big and, well, if this is going to be more geared towards family, even kids to some degree, right? Yeah. I'm like, we don't want one of our main characters to be a dude who shoots first. You know what I'm saying? And then afterwards, like, no, Greedo shot first. And I'm not trying to say he's a hypocrite or whatever. That's not what I mean. But I do think he had, like you said, a change of heart. Mm-hmm. I think originally he wrote him as a dirty, rotten scoundrel smuggler who gets his heart changed by falling in love with Leia. Right. And ultimately gets his heart changed by falling in love with the rebellion. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think he did shoot first. It's just that he got his heart changed by Leia and the rebellion. He got a new cause. But again, I think George Lucas maybe changed his mind afterwards because he's like, I don't want the kids thinking that, their hero Han is the guy who shoots first.
Yep. So. Yeah, I think you're dead on.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think that's right on the money. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and close this out, but I want to thank you guys all so much for joining us, and what a fun time it is to get together and talk Star Wars. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. We hope you guys enjoy listening, And hey, next time you hear us, we're going to be talking about Kenobi. Make sure
Yes.
you go to our YouTube and watch our Let's Play of Lego Star Wars, which will be out on next Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Saturday after that will be our Facebook Live while I'm at Celebration. We'll discuss Celebration. We'll discuss the first two episodes of Kenobi. It's going to be a fun time. And then, of course, after that week, you'll be able to come right back and to our podcast format and listen to our thoughts on the third episode of Kenobi, and we'll continue from there. But we want to thank you guys so much. Please go check out our Patreon, where you can join for only $5 and get our brand new series that we do exclusive to there, and other stuff where we talk about all kinds of anything other than Star Wars. So go join us there for only $5. And also another perk is we'll mention you and thank you for being a part of that as our Patreon producer on our episodes. So it would mean so much to us if you did that. And make sure that you share this episode that you're listening to on your social media, wherever that may be. Cast it over there into the interwebs and make sure that all your friends and family see it. But until next time, may the Force be with you, and we thank you for joining the Jedi Eternal.
We would be honored if you would join us.